This is a public service announcement addressing all potential recruits for the United States Armed Forces. Ever since the September 11 false flag, activists around the world have been meticulously documenting the overwhelming evidence, which proves beyond a reasonable doubt that the 9/11 attacks were carried out by members of the U.S. government, along with assistance from foreign entities such as the Israeli government. A significant portion of U.S. government personnel played a part in the 9/11 attacks at some level. Many of these individuals could be charged with felony concealment or arraigned as an accomplice, accessory, or accessory after the fact. These men and women have committed Class A felonies. At a bare minimum, they should receive life in prison with no parole. Many top U.S. military commanders who hold or have held a position within the U.S. government during and since the 9/11 false flag attacks are guilty of treason for refusing to step forward and publicly expose the false flag. These men and women have intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the United States military-industrial complex, and yet they remain silent when it comes to 9/11. All Joint Chiefs during and since the 9/11 false flag attacks are guilty of treason for refusing to step forward and publicly expose the 9/11 false flag. Their positions of extreme influence require that they speak out about 9/11, and yet they have not. The former Commander-in-Chief, George W. Bush, is guilty of treason for his role as an accessory to the 9/11 false flag attacks. The current Commander-in-Chief, Barack Obama, is guilty of felony concealment for refusing to come forth and publicly acknowledge the U.S.-sponsored 9/11 false flag. In addition to the 9/11 principal operatives, there are thousands of U.S. government employees who remain complicit in the cover-up of the 9/11 false flag. Based upon the readily available 9/11 false flag evidence, any U.S. soldier signing up after 2015 shall be listed as traitors to America. As a potential recruit, you have had more than enough time to research the ample 9/11 false flag evidence and must refuse to join the fraudulent U.S. Armed Forces. The U.S. Armed Forces as a whole have defended and continue to defend the perpetrators of the U.S. government-backed false flag on September 11, 2001. The U.S. Armed Forces are responsible for protecting the guilty parties within the U.S. government which demolished the towers on 9/11, as innocent office workers were burned alive and forced to jump out of high-rise buildings to their deaths. Should you decide to join the U.S. Armed Forces in 2016 or beyond, you are not even worthy of being called an American. Your filthy uniform belongs in a trash heap. Your medals and patches are worthless trinkets of deceit. If you come back from one of the many illegal wars being waged in the name of the 9/11 false flag, do not look for sympathy as you suffer from PTSD. If your leg is blown off by an IED in Afghanistan, do not look to real Americans for sympathy. You have brought this injury upon your own head for selling out the American people. Come 2016, I advise all real Americans to rip all "Support the Troops" bumper stickers off of their cars. Refuse to congratulate any person in uniform for their mercenary service. Future U.S. military recruits still have a choice. Do not choose a fraudulent paycheck over your country. Do not choose the GI Bill over truth. If you choose to join the U.S. military in 2016 or beyond, we will not support you any longer. As we enter the year 2016, let all real Americans consider the U.S. military a foreign occupying force. In 2016, Army recruits will be listed as traitors, Navy as traitors, Air Force traitors, Marines traitors, SEALs traitors, Delta Force traitors. You will all be deemed traitors, and we will recognize you as such. Based upon substantial evidence regarding the U.S. government-backed 9/11 attacks against its own people, all enlisted U.S. troops are obligated to consider Section 3 of the U.S. Constitution and re-examine their oaths under the law. The authors of this video hold no grudge against the average United States veteran who served prior to 9/11. Likewise, in many cases, we are willing to give the benefit of the doubt to troops recruited up to the year 2010 who have since been discharged. During this time period, the evidence surrounding the 9/11 false flag was still mounting. The time span ranging from 2010 to 2015 offers a tiny bit of gray area for the average grunt who may be a complete moron and therefore cannot necessarily be held accountable for what they perceive to be blind patriotism in the face of U.S. government deception. However, real American leniency will only go so far. Our patience is not infinite. 2016 is the line in the sand.
It's not a mistake that they were listening to the Baphomet shirt wearing guy here. And I know some of y'all was saying, oh no, that ain't a big deal. Some people was even saying, that sign means love. No, that sign means devil. Or love for the devil. That's all that is. And when you get a group called Eagles of Death, just so happen to be singing there Friday the 13th, that's not a mistake either. It was deliberately set to be that way. This guy's a puppet. Just like I've been exposing them other puppets, he ain't no different. He even tell you. Jesse Hughes said he had to sell his soul to make rock and roll in L.A. This guy, he calls himself the devil. You can see him right here, throwing up the devil horns. And right here, throwing up the 666 with the hand over the eye. He know what he doing. And this is proof that these signs are satanic. And you have to understand how the satanic operate. If you go back and look at what Aleister Crowley said, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. That means they can do whatever they want to do. And don't feel bad about it. So if they want to lie to you, they'll do it. They don't care. They just want to get whatever they get in this lifetime, and then that's it. Like I showed you earlier, you're dealing with a sellout here. He had to sell his soul. And I'm sure he's getting something out of it, just like Bieber having his album come out on the same day, Friday the 13th. This whole thing was a ritual. Look at the dang crowd. All them Baphomets. I don't think I've ever seen that many Baphomets. They all in on it. They don't care. Do what thou wilt. Look at them. They proud of this. You ain't seen nothing yet. What were they doing when it supposedly all went down? They were singing the song, Kiss the Devil, the moment the terror attacks began. Look at them. What are the lyrics to the song? The title is enough, but we're going to look at the lyrics. Who will love the devil? Who will love his song? Who will love the devil and his song? And then they say, I will love the devil. I'll sing his song. I will love the devil and his song. And they just keep going on and just keep repeating it. It's a satanic ritual. Eagles of Death, death metal. It's supposed to be death. And Joker's throwing up all these Baphomet symbols. These are the type of people you're dealing with. They don't feel bad about lying to you. As a matter of fact, they enjoy it. That's why a lot of Satanists become Christians. But they're fake Christians. Just like the videos you watch here. These jokers come out all smiling. Oh, hi, I'm here to talk about some scriptures. And I be watching them lead y'all right down the wrong path. They're liars. They're evil. Evil is evil. And when you know it, you can see it. You can fool some people, but you can't fool everybody. But the thing with them, they don't care. They know that. As long as they fooling somebody. The way these Satanists become Christians is the same way the Westboro Baptist Church do it. Fake like Christians to then make Christians look like they're evil and hateful. Just to straight up mislead people. And what do we get with this guy here? It's the same thing. You got Vice News, of course, making a documentary of this joker here. The film follows Jesse as he becomes ordained as a Catholic minister. See that? That's how it go. Red Silver J, all I gotta say.
Today, July 6th, 2007, about 4:30 p.m. I'm just wondering what the heck is in our water supply? What the heck is in our oxygen supply of the metallic oxide salts that create a rainbow effect in a sprinkler? What is oozing out of our ground that allows this type of effect to happen? Not just around our sun and our moon anymore. Everywhere we look, the visible spectrum is rainbows. This cannot be natural. We all know it wasn't something that happened 20 years ago, but now it's happening now. We as a nation have got to ask ourselves, what the hell is going on? What is oozing out of our ground?
And you're here for another edition of Illuminati Media Expose. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how South Park is airing an episode about Ebola the same week that Ebola has been confirmed in the United States of America. So many people are going to think this is pure coincidence, but I'm going to show you in today's video how the Illuminati use popular cartoons as a way to predictively program the masses in preparation for the Antichrist. So in today's video, I'm going to show you the predictive programming of this South Park episode, as well as the hidden Illuminati symbolism and message. So let's get into it. Now, what you're going to start noticing when you study the plans of the Illuminati and the unfolding of those plans, you're going to see these massive coincidences taking place. I pointed one out last time in my video about Robin Williams' Illuminati blood sacrifice conspiracy. If you remember, Robin Williams died, and very coincidentally, the BBC aired an episode of Family Guy involving Robin Williams, and it was all about suicide. I've done a previous video, in fact, covering this predictive programming. I'm going to leave both Why the Illuminati Sacrificed Robin Williams conspiracy theory exposed in the description section, as well as Family Guy Illuminati mind control. There's something going on here, ladies and gentlemen. These cartoons are predictively programming things, and it's way beyond coincidence. Check out this video in the description section just to get a heads up. But yet again, we have super coincidence going on in the world here. South Park airing an episode called Gluten-Free Ebola, the same very week that Ebola is confirmed in the United States in Dallas, Texas. Do you think this is coincidence? People, you need to start waking up. So now let's examine this episode here. Now, what happens with predictive programming is the Illuminati need to hide their plans in plain sight in front of people, but in a way that they don't think that they're being programmed. So they'll do it through cartoons, movies, commercials, whatever, so that the unsuspecting person becomes a victim of the mind control. So what they're doing with the Ebola virus is they're programming the masses in preparation for the massive quarantines, FEMA camps, and depopulation that is going to occur. Now, in the episode you're going to see tonight is the symbolism of the infection. Here you have symbolized the United States, and they are infected. Now, there is a lot of Illuminati symbolism in this episode. As you can see here, this is Aunt Jemima, and Cartman has a dream because he's trying to figure out the problem with the Ebola gluten allergy that's going on. If you notice here, she comes up to him, Aunt Jemima, with these pancakes. Now, notice the pancakes are just coincidentally in the shape of a satanic pentagram. Do you notice that? Pay attention to, there it is. There's the pentagram. So she comes to him, then we see the subliminal message of the satanic pentagram in a dream to tell him about the secret of the Ebola virus. And what is it? Well, it's in the pyramid. Apparently, the secret to Ebola is in pyramids. Right. Okay, more Illuminati symbolism hidden in plain sight. That's what the episode actually details. If you read this article, Cartman has a dream, he meets Aunt Jemima, and Aunt Jemima gives him the solution, which is found in, ironically, another coincidence, a pyramid. Because essentially the Ebola depopulation agenda is from the Illuminati, and they are predictively programming the masses to prepare them for this satanic unfolding of Bible prophecy. I'm going to leave in the description section a video I just did last week on Ebola, the Illuminati's plans for a cleansing, a massive depopulation. Here you have the Illuminati pyramid, and in the episode it just said the answer is in the pyramid to Ebola. Very interesting. Also, I just reported the video I just uploaded previous to this one, the Illuminati Depopulation Agenda Exposed, the first Ebola diagnosis in the United States. So I've covered that in a previous video. So check those out in the description section to get up to date on the NWO Illuminati agenda for depopulation. But obviously we're living in the land of super coincidences today. Even in the truth movement, we're starting to buy into the fact that this is all coincidence because we're allowing agents to manipulate our minds and make us think that they wouldn't hide stuff in cartoons, when in fact they absolutely would. These cartoons are some of the most powerful influencers in the world. So many people watch South Park and Family Guy mindlessly and sit in front of their television just absorbing whatever these little comedy cartoons tell them. So they're being programmed by these cartoons. They're powerful. They're some of the most popular shows on television. So you don't think that the powerful elite would use those shows for mind control? Stop listening to fake truthers. This is the Vigilant Christian saying God bless each and every one of you, and as always, stay vigilant.
Well, here's some of the cards I have. The Illuminati cards. I know there's some videos up on the internet of them, but then again, there's some that aren't. So, look at some of the things I have, how values, the 5-year plan.
Have the network fully running to where we're switching out feeds.
Got these a few years ago.
Bringing on live hosts, which hopefully will be next week. With Donnie
My Karma Ran Over Your Dogma is always one of my favorites.
Every Saturday, right after True Frequency. So, if you
so as you can see, there's some of them.
He has interviewed a lot.
I know some people, I'm doing this pretty fast, so they'll have to go back and check out what I have. Take the money and run. Swingers. Swingers, they've got friends everywhere, lots of friends. The power of swingers is increased by 1 for every liberal group in your power structure. Talking about, sharing of wives and things. And of course it'd be liberal. Crackdown on crime. Interesting times. The New World Order. Enough is enough. Drug companies, let the sun shine in. I don't see you, so pretend to be there. And if you look at them, they say, attribute freeze requires Illuminati, or secret action requires Illuminati, or liberal action, communist action, computer action. Pretty cool, some of the stuff. They have some of these. If you look at them, it pretty much is everything that's in place. So either someone, of course, as everyone knows, was tipped off, or maybe it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. You never know. That's pill people in black, sufficiently advanced, antitrust legislation into the world, Frankenfood. Frankenfood, of course, is a good one. Anarchists Unite. Alien abduction, if you look, that's in the shape of a pyramid with the capstone taken off. A brief attack of consciousness. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Power satellites, recycling centers, reverse whammy, school prayer, science alarmists, bite the wax tadpole, daycare centers, sudden European vacation, state lotteries, pizza for the secret meeting, screaming meme, backfire, black masquerade, bait and switch. Australian rules, New World Order. This is it. This is what I had. I'm not sure the year I got them, but as you can see, they're out there. Just wanted to share this with some people. A few of the guys, as everyone knows, I'm a wrestling manager. Very Illuminatic with the wicked nemesis and Andy Noctisarian. So of course, you got to stay on top. As I always say, wrestlers work out in the ring. I'm not a wrestler, I'm a wrestling manager. So I always make sure to keep my mind on focus. And you just got to look at this. Even if you don't agree with it, even some of these things. Recycling centers detection, as I said before, they have PowerPoints. Resistance green requires nation action, etc., etc. you know, it is ceasefire, Supreme Court nomination, supernova, Hubble trouble, Teflon coating, truck bomb, vials, secretions. I mean, it's everywhere. Lyndon LaRouche, all these things. Believe it if you will. You don't have to. Shock jock, security leak, which is funny, the security leak, because, you know, what's going on. All new plots drawn by the target Illuminati are automatically exposed as soon as they are drawn. So, exorcism, every year is worse, the Mayan calendar. You know, the earth is degenerating. Today, bribery and corruption abroad, children no longer obey their parents, every man wants to write a book, and it's evident that the end of the world is fast approaching. That was in 2800 BC, so. But, a few people asked about it, and here you guys are. See there, Illuminati World Order. Turn some of these over so you can see them. This is the Oracle of Ominous, the architect of intellect, the wicked nemesis, aka Enoch Tessarian. And there you go, the Illuminati card game.
Tupac says Illuminati doesn't exist. Rare interview, says Mark Dice. Well, Mark Dice, I think you just missed the boat. Listening comprehension may not be your strong suit. You should listen to that interview again, where you claim that Tupac is saying that he doesn't believe in the Illuminati. No, I don't think that Tupac was saying that at all. I think what he was saying, Mark Dice, is he doesn't believe in people like yourself that scare the shit out of people with groups called the Illuminati out there. Not that the Illuminati doesn't exist. I think what he was saying is that it's a trap to focus on the Illuminati. Who told the Nation of Islam? Who told Farrakhan about it? Who told Mark Dice about it? Well, I think if you answer that question, Mark. Who told you about the Illuminati? Answer the question, Mark Dice. I think the answer is, Mark Dice, if you put your thinking cap on, Mark Dice, can you think? I think the Illuminati told you about their existence. And why did they tell you about their existence, Mark Dice? Tupac's a lot deeper than you give him credit for. So, Mark Dice, if you want to speak about Tupac again, I suggest you do a lot more research. I'm not going to sit here and definitely say that Tupac definitely did believe in the Illuminati, but I'm not going to rule it out based on his statements. And I do have reason to believe that he did know about them. And he did think that they might exist, but I think that he thought that it was a trap. And I do think it is a trap to focus all your time and energy on talking about the Illuminati, like you do, Mark Dice, like your audience that follows you focuses on the Illuminati. You know who that gives more power to? The Illuminati. When you do your videos on Jay-Z, Mark Dice, who does that help? It helps Jay-Z and his record label. When you do your videos on Lady Gaga, who does it help? Lady Gaga and her record label. So, Mark Dice, I have a question. Who's to say that you're not working for the Illuminati? All your, whether knowingly or unknowingly, with your actions and your promotion, it seems to me that you definitely could be working for the Illuminati and not even know about it, not even realize it. And this is a perfect example. Tupac was calling folks like yourself out and questioning you and saying this whole Illuminati thing is used to keep you weak, to keep you unconfident, to keep you focused on all the other bullshit things instead of the true things that you should be working on, which are building money, building up your own shit, and not focusing on other people's shit. Now, Mark Dice, I do think you are building up something because you do have hundreds of thousands of views on your videos. And this video just came out, already 200,000 views. So, maybe you are making some money on this. Maybe you are doing what Pac said. But you missed the boat on this one, and I wanted to call it out because I see a lot of your followers are calling it out. They see exactly what I'm talking about. Tupac was saying to focus on the Illuminati was a trap. Whether they exist or not, does it even matter? Focus on your own stuff, build up your own community, be positive, grow your own stuff, and then, if you get big enough, and you have the balls enough, and the power enough, and you find out the Illuminati exists, maybe you can actually do something about it at that point. What I see with a lot of these truth seekers, conspiracy theorists, whatever you want to call it, which I can actually do sort of consider myself one because I look into all of this stuff. I watch all these videos. My big concern with that group of people, though, is most of them don't do anything except watch these videos. And a lot of people get too frightened to do anything. They don't take action. They're not activists. They're not active politically. They're not making changes. And that's the bigger issue. And I think Pac, at the age of, 26 when he said that, he knew. He understood it. Question for you, Mark Dice, is why don't you get it? And why aren't you actually thinking along the same lines? You've been focusing on the Illuminati for how many decades now? What success have you had beyond making some money for yourself on YouTube? That's pretty much, and selling a few books along the way. I don't see your exposure as put them at risk. I don't think that they're scared because you're exposing them. I think that they look at Mark Dice as their #1 promotion whore that is on the internet. You know, you, Alex Jones, you guys are pushing the Illuminati. You know, if Jay-Z and them guys aren't hiring you to promote their videos, they should be. Because all I see that you're doing is scaring people and helping them sell CDs and movies.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You founded the Hare Krishna movement some 7 years ago in 1967, did you not?
Yes.
In a capsule, what is the movement?
The movement is to awaken God consciousness of the human being. The human being is distinguished from the animals, that the animals cannot understand what is God.
Mm-hmm.
And if the human being also does not understand what is God, then he is enemy.
I see. And so your movement is to bring about an understanding of God
Yes.
among human beings.
Yes.
And Hare Krishna means what?
Hare Krishna means addressing the energy of God. Hare means the energy of God, and Krishna means God.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you were here yesterday and to attend your annual festival that was held here in Golden Gate Park, and we were there too. And in fact, here it is. A few thousand people came out to hear it. How many people are now disciples of the Krishna consciousness movement?
Dedicated life, about 10,000.
About 10,000 dedicated
in
ones.
the Western world.
Mm-hmm. Your Grace, is there any significance at all in the shaved head? Why are heads shaved?
We keep ourselves very clean, that's all.
Oh, it's just a cleanliness thing?
Yes.
Is there any significance in the color of the robes?
At least at the present moment, people think that by keeping long hair, it becomes very beautiful.
I see.
Yes. So we are against it.
Mm-hmm. Just as simple as that. Is there any significance in the yellow robes?
Yellow robe is the dress, those who are dedicated.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It could very well have been a blue robe. It's just something that was arrived at.
This saffron.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Your Grace, why do you feel that so many people are pulling away from the traditional religions in this country, such as Christianity and so forth, and going for the trying to understand the Eastern religions? We hear a lot of swamis and gurus and other type of yogi and so forth. Why do you feel that people are pulling away from the traditional Christian standards here?
But we see that the Christian churches, especially I've seen in London, mostly closed. People are not interested, or the Christian leaders, they cannot make them interested.
Why? Did Christianity fail the people, which is why they're turning to other things? Or?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You say that Hare Krishna consciousness pretty much takes the absolute truths from the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and the Vedic.
Yeah, everywhere.
Everywhere.
Religion means to understand God.
I understand, but do you feel that in getting truths from various places like the Bible and the Quran and so forth, don't you run into conflicts at all or contradictions in those particular philosophies?
No, I don't find any conflict because the ultimate goal is God. So you have to understand God and try to love Him. So you can go through any religious process. If the goal is attained, that you understand what is goal, and you try to love Him, then your life is perfect.
Why do we see so many of your followers chanting almost all the time?
Chanting means to keep association with God always.
So you have to audibly chant Hare Krishna?
Yes. This is transcendental vibration. Just like a radio message, if you keep contact with the radio message, then you know everything what is going on outside. Similarly, this transcendental sound, Hare Krishna, if you chant, then you keep connection with God directly.
Thank you very much, Your Divine Grace. It's been our privilege to talk with you and to meet you.
Thank you.
And hope that we can see you again when you return.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
We'll be back with more news in just a moment.
Daiva tripting bhajata sadaiva. Daiva tripting bhajata sadaiva. Vande gurasi charanarabindam. Vande gurasi.
Reality is usually scoffed at. Illusion is usually king. But in the battle for survival of civilization, it's going to be reality, not illusion or delusion, that'll determine what the future will bring. Because the great problem we have today is most people really have no grasp of what's going on in the world. Now, most people believe that we have freedom of the press and freedom of speech. But the truth of the matter is that most of the things that are going on today are little known to the average individual, because there is a secret. This is a prohibited.
that guy? Michio Kaku. I call him Michio Kaku now. Like, you know, caca, like you say to a baby, you made caca, you made cockapoo. All right, now, this one right here. So I was curious. I said, oh, let me check out what this one is about, all right? Let me see if I could. Okay, so I clicked on it, and I'm just going through this. I'm not going to...
Okay, well, let's take the next...
Okay, I'm not going to play the whole video. You can check it out for yourself. And then play the video, and then, you know, how you scroll down to basically want to see, well, what people say or whatnot. So Michio Kaku, his answer is classic, right? And then right here, that's the number of views. That's when it was put up there. I mean, I know they're not really proud of this one right here. I mean, of course, he says he tries to convince people that it did happen. But I was really curious about the people who oh, that person put another link right there, the person who played the video. Now, the first person right here, Mr. Orthogonalization. Orthogonalization. Oh, they think they're really smart. This person says, you know, what the caller asks about is the spacesuits, right? Just one question, not the usual questions, right? So, Michio Kaku, instead of answering that, he really takes us on a space cadet tour, right? But this individual, first individual, you know, the trolls. I don't know if the trolls, but they have a trollish mentality. This person says the spacesuits are impossible. That's what the person who basically let me let you just hear a little bit of it right here.
It's a listener phone call. Hello, this is Science Fantastic. You're on the air. Any comments or questions?
My name is Neil Baker. I'm in Kennewick, Washington. I listen to KTCR, and I'm one of those people. Actually, I might be one of those kooks that doesn't think we went to the moon. I don't think I'm a kook. I think I've got good reason to think we didn't go to the moon, and they basically boil down to two reasons. One is that the spacesuits that the astronauts are in are impossible, and the cooling system is preposterous. The nickel porous plate ice sublimators.
Okay, so you're going to go through some of that right there. You can hear, I think, Michio Kaku, him snort in the background. You know, he go, you know, people like, oh, man, let me. So he probably, you know, he think he's really the smart ass, he's smart aleck. Yeah, you know some science. You know what I mean? He's a science guy on TV and everything, all right? And some interesting things he says, some wild ass shit he says too, but now, this person says, oh, the spaces are impossible, says the fuck that barely made it out of high school. So I began to listen to the quote, and you can listen to the quote. He doesn't say he barely made it out of high school. I guess he's judging, you know, he's judging him by how he sound, like, oh, this is, don't want to say anything about, you know, but he's like an Alex Jones guy or something like that from InfoWars. Anyway, so he goes on and he says, he makes this point. There's nothing on the internet about the spacesuits. He's actually quoting what the person who acts Michio, let's see. Let's open this again. Michio, the question, right? Michio Kaku, right? Kaku. Anyway, it says, it's because it's proprietary technology, you fuck. In other words, he's trying to answer the question that Michio Kaku didn't answer, right? When a company spends $1 billion to develop something, they're not going to just turn around and just hand it to the competitors for free. This person sounds like they barely made it out of high school. See how many times they use just? You know, they're not going to just turn around and just hand it. They're not going to turn around and hand it to the competitors for free. That would be somebody who probably made it out of high school. But anyway, that wasn't the question. Great logic, : if you can't find it on a Google search, it can't exist. Somebody smacked this fuck with a car. It's interesting. That fuck might get smacked with a car. But anyway, that's the first one that caught my attention. And I'm like, oh, really? The guy didn't make it out of high school? And I was listening to while I was reading, and I said, he never said he didn't make it out of high school. And Michio Kaku never answered the question. Anyway, then there was this one, Zontos Izor, whatever, right? He says, wait.
That guy had very specific questions, and Michio Kaku could have easily answered them directly, but he consciously and obviously dodged them instead. The guy asks about the mysterious cooling system in the crafts and the mysterious flexible membrane in the suits. Why the hell was Dr. Kaku talking about flags, shadows, and rocks? Question mark. That really frustrates me. I know we went to the, well, this individual said they know, because, you know, you've seen it on TV. But he had a chance to debunk two good questions from an open-minded skeptic. Right? Open-minded skeptic, where are we? Okay, and chose to ramble about unrelated stuff rather than giving a straight answer. That's a politician tactic. I thought Dr. Kaku was better than this. No, he's not. All right, so check out this video. This was really interesting, but thanks to Michio Kaku, right? I really do doubt.
You can't find any information on them. We've been allegedly using them for 50 years. There's nothing in a textbook about them. There's hardly anything on the internet about them, and you've never seen a demonstration of one in operation, which could easily happen in a high vacuum chamber that NASA allegedly has. The suits are impossible because those...
No, neither did he. Neither did he.
Are they dead now?
Probably by now, yeah.
So they were taken to the Antarctic?
They spent a period in the Antarctic at a base, and then they were taken up into South America. They were in different countries, but there were South American fascists that allowed Otto Skorzeny and Bormann specifically move the money, and then these other Nazis transplanted there. A great number, thousands of them, came in the United States, but not Hitler, not the top echelon. They stayed in other countries.
So, I don't know why would they want to kill John Lennon? I mean, I never got...
Because he was a tremendous voice. If he had called for a public demonstration, he would have had 1 million people in the street the next day. They had silenced him on drugs for a long period. I think, myself, that his wife was involved in that. Wittingly or not, I think she got him onto the heroin. She's no little somebody in a closet herself. Her father was the richest Japanese banker all through World War II. The top Axis money flowed through her father, and her father, at times when other Japanese were put in concentration camps, was allowed free access between Japan and the United States throughout the war. That's Ono. That's the family. She's still one of the richest people in the world. And, you know, they credit her in many of the biographies for breaking up the Beatles, which was a political force. These groups at Big Sur and the counterculture were political music. They were creating a whole alternate consciousness, and many of them died very violently, supposedly on drug overdoses. But these people didn't have to get street drugs cut with strychnine and battery acid. When you have their kind of money, you can get pure drugs, and you cannot physically overdose on pure heroin or pure cocaine. I got that from Reader's Digest, Listed and Illicit Drugs, an extensive study. They took people who had never done any drugs and pumped them with more than a long-term heroin addict takes in a day, and they don't OD when it's pure stuff, which means that what they're ODing on, they say in D.C. about every 6 months, they say, well, a batch of pure heroin came into town and 12 addicts died. I said, you know, well, first of all, the economy is impossible. Who would make pure heroin when you're making a profit by cutting it? So you're not going to let a bad, oops, forgot the talcum. But the pure heroin wouldn't kill them. See, it's the contaminants in it that does the overdose. You'd have to take over 2 grams of cocaine sniffed to even get to the point of going unconscious, according to these articles. Pure cocaine. Now, what you're sniffing from the street is something else. But I was at a conference where these forensic scientists, they didn't know, they were looking at me, most of them cops. I was at the back, and they had a display of these 2 pewter jars, or little dishes, petri dishes you call them, like use them in chemistry, and they had a little line of green leaves, and it was marijuana. And this guy had a thing that looked like a microphone with a square head, and And it went back on a telephone cord with a little box with a light on it. And he passed it over the first plate, and a little bell would ring, 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 as he passed it over, and the light would light up. And all the cops are like, what's that? He says, gentlemen, this machine can detect any amount of marijuana. Pocket litter, a little bit in a rug, anything left, this can pick it up. Ring, 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 and he's getting the reaction. Then he takes it over to the other dish, and it goes bzz, 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 and the light lights up. And they look the same, and the cops are all like, He takes it back over to ring, 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 bzz, bzz, bzz. He says, gentlemen, this machine can also distinguish between domestic type, ring, 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 and CIA type. Bzz, bzz, bzz. He said, domestic type and CIA type, and you can put a thing over it. It's got to be radiation or chemical. Right? I mean, what does that mean? And the cops all went, They know the difference. And I talked to people who smoked marijuana and got stoned pleasantly. I talked to other people who had very bad experiences with it. So what are they giving you? They're giving you their drugs. They control the market. Independent dealers in Dayton, Ohio, once the Cleveland Syndicate got in there by the mid-'60s, either dealt their drugs at their prices, left town, quit dealing, or they had 3 bullet holes right here. And that took about a month before there were no independent labs, no independent dealers. It was mafia, CIA drugs all the way, and you dealt what they wanted or you didn't deal. Okay, and so that idea of like drugs as sort of the counterculture, you know, rebelling against the state, they were drugging you, and they were making the profit off of it. They make over $1 million a day on heroin alone, just on heroin, in Harlem alone. That's one community, one drug, over $1 million. Raw opium to street level heroin goes up at least 10 times in value. 1,000% increase in value, at least, sometimes 30 times. That means that it was worth their trouble with the Mao tribes in Southeast Asia who grew the opium poppies to drop in gold in exchange for raw opium, because gold is worth less. You'll make more money on the opium than you will on the gold. So that was the exchange. Gold bars for raw opium, break it down in the labs, morphine, heroin, whatever, derivatives, then cut it again to the street level. By the late 60s, the price of dealing on the streets was not financial. The police and the mafia had their payoff already multifold. The price of being an undisrupted dealer, besides dealing their drugs at their price, was political information off the street. Who was doing what? So if you wanted to be a dealer, you also had to be a government informant. Okay? And that was the way they ran the system. And that's why the Panthers, H. Rap Brown in a shootout with the drug dealers, the Panthers tried to get the drugs out of the community. Blacks plus drugs equals genocide was the pamphlet. Michael DeRuba Moore. So they know, I mean, the crack cocaine doesn't go into the majority of cocaine users are using this pure powder, and they're middle-class white executives and well-paid. They got the money. And the graffiti in New York is, cocaine is God's way of telling you you're making too much money. But on the street, for the black and the Hispanic, it's the crack, the deadly drug. You know, it's developed in a different lab, but that's not just random chance. Blacks don't like crack and whites like powder. It's a whole system of what drug's going to be available and what damage will it do, which one's going to be the political nemesis, which one's allowed. You know, it's all controlled. They brought those heroin into the community in Watts in the 1920s right after they rioted, one of the earliest race riots. They brought the drugs in, the mafia, to calm them down. It's social control. It's like the opium wars in the British, China, and the colonial control there with the opium.
What about the Civil War? There was thought to abolish slavery.
Well, you might think a bunch of whites went out and fought each other to abolish slavery, but I think most black people know better than that.
The history books will tell you.
Yes, the history books will tell you.
What was?
This is James in here in Western Jamaica. It's 2:55. We're decoding Rihanna's new album here. It just come out talking about her new concept album to be out in November based upon a children's story that turned into a movie, or is turning into a movie called Home. by those animation people. They're bringing all the Baphomet and things to the children. Now, the original story was called Smekte. Here, let's follow this thing. Here's this story coming out on about the DreamWorks animation. Here's the variety story. Here's the girl. She's going too far because she's leading the generation too far into not only the lesbian gay, okay, but it's into transgender, and it's into abominating the real avatar spirit of Jesus Christ and the return of the real avatar spirit of Jesus Christ into a lot of these memes and cartoons and abominations of the true spirit of Jesus Christ. This is why Muslims don't allow this type of portrayal of the Holy Spirit, you know. Here's the thing, though. The movie, okay, is going to be called Home. Her album, I believe, is going to be called My Life, okay? This was formerly known as Happy Smekte. What is Smekte? Okay, based on Adam Rex's book, The True Meaning of Smekte. So you see we're changing the names here. Okay? So if we look at sex, okay, and in English gematria 288, and in simple gematria 288, put in Smek, we get 288 and 488. Hey, it's not in the database yet. Let's put it in here, huh? You see, they're talking about sex and Inanna and the reincarnation of the whole take pleasure in your body and the hedonist itself, you know. Okay? Now you can see, here's some things from this boy here. Look at, this is the author of the book. A smile, the one little smile. This is for children's story, you know. The Booth have 7 magnificent genders. There is boy, girl, girl boy, boy girl, boy boy, boy boy girl, and boy 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 boy. You can see the kind of concepts that they're dealing with is not only lesbian, gay, and whoa, and this was for children. This was another little abomination story that you can go look at smekday.com. I don't want to get into too much of this for a little copyright.
Hello, noble human savage. Hello, friend Booth. Merry Christmas. Ow! Why'd you hit me with that stick? That stick is really a boofish learning baton, and I'm here to learn you about the holidays. But Christmas always comes at the end of December. Ow. There is no more December. The Booth have simplified the human's calendar into 3 excellent months. November, January, and March. Just use now this easy rhyme.
What they just did? They play with Christmas,
November,
they play with
every
the
human
concept.
should remember all the
Just
rest
move
of
around
31,
these things.
except January, that has
They
5.
wanted
You're
to
lucky
take
we
people
don't
away
kill you.
from the true God and the true Holy Spirit, you know.
Thank
into
you
this
for fixing our
Baphomet
screwy
world.
calendar. But what about the holidays? Yes, Christmas is now Smek Day to honor our leader,
Hear
Captain Smek. Groundhog Day is now the start of Smek History Month. Passover is now Booth
You
Passover.
see it.
These and all other holidays are explained into this helpful pamphlet.
Christmas
New
Smek
holidays
Day,
are
a sex day.
fun and mandatory. Happy Smek Day, humans! And a Happy New Year!
You see the code there? You see the code? Okay, people? And here you can go look up Smek Day. But this girl gone too far, and there's a case going on right now about Richard Dupree suing her, and my case of the blood libel of gems, and will be added to this. Thank you. This is decoding this MK Ultra Baphomet girl, Rihanna. You know, just before I leave, a lot of her experience when she sings a song is given to her to MK Ultra mind control machine that gives her the extra feeling and training into the song. Where at this point, the beating between her and Chris Brown, I do think was staged. And her injuries were makeup. And she was given that experience through MK Ultra psychotronic techniques. And the whole music industry, the Baphomet music industry, from Lil Wayne to Jay-Z, to all of them are involved in a vast conspiracy using this technology. Due to Black Ops, technique to build them up in their black pyramid in the entertainment hip-hop industry. And that's why the Jamaican music industry has gone into disrepute into this dancehall Baphomet, where all their leading singers are in jail for murder and guns and drugs. That's why they killed Peter Tosh and Bob Marley, who had One Love reggae consciousness. They didn't want One Love reggae consciousness of humanity that Bob and Peter brought, and what brought Jamaica famous. And they killed him. The CIA killed him. And they socially engineer and control all these little puppets here in Jamaica, and all the dancehall music. Yeah, all the dancehall music is under a cabal in Jamaica. The hip-hop music in America is under another associated cabal. Okay? And they work together. And they have used the CIA technology that gives these artists an extra spirit in their music by transferring consciousness from people who've gone through different experiences. Okay? They've used that to promote a Baphomet God, okay, and portrayed me in remote view as a mocking stock in all my private things in the bathroom and everything, in disgrace. And this will come to light. This conspiracy will come to light. This conspiracy will come to light, and the music will stop, and their empire is coming down. The little scene with Jay-Z and his sister-in-law on the elevator, them coming down the elevator, their empire is coming down. They're in bed with Baphomet, and they worship Satan. Make sure you understand this, people. They worship Satan. These people worship Satan. These people are of Satan, So make sure you understand that their empire is coming down. The little scene with Jay-Z in the elevator, this is a sign of things to come. It's a sign of things to come. Their Babylon empire is threatened right now and is coming down. You can't get by the blood libel of Jamzen, You can't get by the blood libel of Jamzen. And the case of Richard Dupree. These cases are going to start to add up and connect dots for people. This is Jamzen checking out here from Western Jamaica.
Prabhupada, who's Krishna?
Krishna is a historical personality, but he is the supreme personality of God. According to Vedic literature, we get information that God comes within all kinds of societies, not only human society, but in animal society also. And why does he come? When does he come? These descriptions and informations are there in the Vedic literature, very nicely. So one has to study. Sometimes people object that God cannot come as incarnation. But we don't agree to that point. If we say that God cannot come, that means God becomes subjected to our order. He is so great and independent, then why he shall not come? If he likes, he can come. We don't agree to the philosophy that God cannot come. Why God cannot come? If he is actually the great, whatever he likes, he can do. That is God's solution.
What is Krishna consciousness then?
Yes, that is very important. Krishna consciousness is described very nicely in the Bhagavad Gita. Perhaps you know Bhagavad Gita. I understand you are reading Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita is the guide how to become Krishna conscious. There is a statement by Krishna himself in the 9th chapter. Manmana bhagavad bhakta madhyaji mang namastu. Manmana, just always think of me, become my devotee, always think of me, manmana bhagavad bhakta madhyaji, worship me, offer obeisances unto me. These are the different processes how one can become Krishna conscious.
How does Krishna consciousness differ from other yoga systems?
Yoga system is also Krishna consciousness, but the modern yoga system is a different manufacture of the latest atheist class. They meditate upon something impersonal, void. That is very difficult. You cannot concentrate your mind on something void. That is simply troublesome. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Klesha adhikatara stesham abhakta tattvachetasam. Those who are attached to the impersonal, void feature of the absolute truth, their process is very troublesome. So, Krishna has got different features of his manifestation. The first feature is impersonal. The second feature is localized. And the third feature is localized by the Supreme. So, generally, the yogis, they try to concentrate on the impersonal. Actually, they should have concentrated on the localized feature. The localized feature is called Parama, and the impersonal feature is called Brahma, and the personal feature is called Bhagavan. And that is explained very nicely in Srimad Bhagavatam. The absolute truth is one. And personal and localized, the thing is one, but according to a different vision, in the beginning it is impersonal, further advanced it is localized, and further advanced it is personal. So, yoga system of the modern day, first of all I may say, most of them are not very bona fide. They are simply humbug. Actual yoga system, Ashtanga Yoga, 8 different stages of practicing yoga is not possible at the present day.
What is the relationship between Christ and Krishna?
That is very simple to understand. Christ represented himself as Son of God. So we are not this thing. That's the thing, the Son of God.
In the Bible, the Lord Christ said that the only way to worship God is through me.
Yes, that's nice, because unless you get association of a devotee, there is no question of God realization. So, Jesus Christ is a devotee So one has to associate with the devotee before realizing his member. But it is not that God has got only one devotee. If God is unlimited, He has unlimited devotees also. That is real philosophy. But the philosophy which was spoken by Lord Jesus Christ, that society was different from the society where Krishna appeared, or Krishna spoke, just like Krishna spoke to Arjuna. And Jesus Christ spoke to some Israel, the shepherds. You see, so status of life and their understanding different. So representative of God speaks according to the circumstances, according to the country. So it was good for the people at that time. They should have concentrated through this stuff.
Is this Krishna consciousness sectarian? Can anyone take it up? Can Christians take it up? Can Muslims take it up?
Yes, you can see practically. All our students here in the Western countries, they are mostly coming from Christian group, Greek group. And there were many Mohammedans also. And this, Negro, all kinds of, everyone is welcome. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Although materially there is gradation of first class, second class, third class, human society. But Krishna is saying that anyone, man he part of the past, anyone who takes proper shelter of me. This is very important thing. Proper shelter means to take shelter of Krishna. But in the physically absence of Krishna, one has to take shelter of Krishna's real representative. Then anyone will understand this Krishna philosophy and will be elevated to the high platform or understand.
Rolling. With what authority do you teach this Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, I told you, Bhagavad Gita is authority. Just like when you go to the law court, you speak on the law.
Review time, Pot! According to the news, there was a shooting in Oregon at Umpqua Community College. The gunman was identified. His name's supposed to be here. Chris Harper Mercer. Add no motive somewhere in there. Why would something like this happen? Well, ask the people who planned this stupid shooting. That's right, it was pre-planned. That's right, it's fake. Let's take a look at this Chris Harper Mercer guy. Starting with the 5 fast facts you need to know. This is what they say. This is the guy right here. All right, this is going to be quick, and we're going to go into detail with these. He was armed with 4 guns and was killed after a shootout with police. He was killed, so now we don't have to worry about him going to court, long drawn out bull crap. It's ended right then and there. He goes on with his life somewhere else, maybe on an island. He asked students to state their religion and then started firing. Just another detail in the story that people are going to say, he asked people their religion? Can you believe that? Oh. He says on a dating profile that he doesn't like organized religion and is a conservative Republican. So all that is just talking points for people like the Young Turks. They're gonna be like, you see that conservatives shouldn't have guns. And then he says he doesn't like organized religion. So of course people who like organized religion will be like, you see here, he doesn't like organized religion. He's disorganized. This is why he is crazy and shouldn't have guns. You know, just the stupid talking points, not getting to the point that this stuff is fake. But we're gonna keep it going. He was on a website, dating website called Spiritual Passions. Ain't never even heard of something like this, but this is fake, so you gotta understand that. He wrote on his blog, seems the more people you kill, the more you're in the limelight. Talking about Vester Flanagan. Oh yeah, we know that shooting is fake. If you don't, you need to pay attention. And then let's see here, 4chan user and avid YouTube poster was misidentified as the suspect. Okay, so we just glossed over that stuff right there. All right, we're gonna go deeper into what's really going on here. This guy right here, he is a created profile of what they want to demonize. First of all, I mean, look, they're getting stuff from a dang MySpace page, and then look, the man used an AR-15. How many times are they gonna demonize this gun? Let's go to his dating profile. On this Spiritual Passions website, this bullcrap, okay, mixed race, 5'9", 180 pounds. They just want to make it seem like anybody can be somebody who's going to shoot up a college. So I guess in this case, a mixed race. He's both. You never know what's going to happen. And let's see the type of stuff he's saying. Political views, conservative, Republican. He's shy at first, but warm up quickly. How many people you know that's shy at first, but warm up quickly? Well, come on now, bullcrap. All right, generic hobbies, internet, killing zombies, movie, music, reading. On this website you ain't never heard of. Let's look at the groups he's in. They say he's a Leo, doesn't like organized religion, left-hand path, magic and occult. We're gonna check that out. Meditation, not religious, but spiritual. Where are they going with this? Well, I tell you where we going. We going to his so-called profile here called Lithium Love, where he uploads blogs, uploads videos, albums, and we're just going to see the mentality of what they want you to think this guy thinks like. Let's just look here. Vester Flanagan shooting. So he's talking about this guy from the last fake shooting, major fake shooting. A man named Vester Flanagan opened fire on 2 former colleagues on live TV. He also recorded his own footage of the event while reading about that event. I read some excerpts of his manifesto the media was releasing, and I have to say, anyone who knew him could have seen this coming. Bullcrap. Who wrote this? So anybody who looks at the profile of this guy right here should have seen this coming. This is all he's saying. People like him have nothing left to live for, and the only thing left to do is to lash out at a society that has abandoned them. His family described him as a lone, no partner lover. That's why he has the dating profile. A victim not only of his own perception, but also of our social media soaked environment, demonizing the internet. He posted the footage on his Facebook and Twitter, as well as tweeting while he was running from the cops, dumb, because he wanted the world to see his actions. But here's the so-called chilling stuff that they're going to repeat over and over again. I have noticed that so many people like him are all alone and unknown, yet when they spill a little blood, the whole world knows who they are. A man who was known by no one is now known by everyone. His face splashed across every screen, his name across the lips of every person on the planet. All in the course of one day. Seems the more people you kill, the more you're in the limelight. Says the person who supposedly killed all these people at this school. Then he goes on to say this: if anyone gets the chance, go on YouTube and see the footage of him shooting these people or those people. It's a short video, but good nonetheless. He's calling that video good. Now that was a fake shooting, 100% exposed upload. So one of the mainstream things they like to talk about, he uploaded a Sandy Hook documentary. Now we know Sandy Hook was fake. But we look down even further. Nikola Tesla, wait a minute. Crop circles, wait a minute. Ancient alien mystery, rise of the Anunnaki. I know what that stuff is about. So this guy is one of those UFO conspiracy theorists. Oh, wait a minute. We're gonna go over here. Illuminati secrets, the new Atlantis. Secret Illuminati. Okay, so this guy is a fake conspiracy theorist. So his mentality, we look here, lithium love, bring it over here with Illuminati. So if you talk about Illuminati, you must be crazy. lithium love, you must be on that lithium. You must be on those drugs. And as Alex Jones is supposed to say with his fake conspiracy theorist right-wing self, he's supposed to say, it's the mass murder pills. That's where he's going to go with this. Pretty sure he's not going to call it fake. Oh, no. But yeah, this guy is a fake conspiracy theorist only to demonize people who actually expose the government. And yes, this is correct because we look in his album and we see he's talking about X-Files. And every time somebody want to demonize conspiracy theorists, what do they say? They talk about X-Files, then they play the X-Files music in the background. So we're looking at a manufactured profile of this guy, a manufactured mentality that they want to demonize. We see here Chris Harper Mercer, shooter who killed 10, was Nazi fanatic who supported the IRA. And they say he bought Nazi paraphernalia. Now, this is a key point y'all got to understand. Mercer still has a MySpace up with 2 connections. So here goes his MySpace page. Man only got 2 friends. Not even enough to have a top 8. What the heck is this? But look at what they're saying. A man and a woman. The man, Muhammad Ali Essani, appears to have a great passion for Islamists, of course, posting multiple pictures of mujahideen from every country with Islamic terrorists saying, kill the Jews. Think I heard this type of stuff before. They might not go as far as saying this, but it's similar. You see those comments commenting on your channels. Those who make videos, I know you know what I'm talking about. Those who comment on the videos, I know you know what I'm talking about. These people who are always saying, hey, you got to call out the Jews. They are the ones behind the New World Order. Of course, there's a lot of Jewish people, but if you call them out in every single video like these people are trying to bully you into doing, then they're going to put you in the same category as Nazis. They're going to put you in the same category as Hitler. And then when they do one of these fake events, they're going to say, see, this person wants to kill the Jews. What did Hitler do? Hitler killed the Jews. So when you see those people always saying, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, it's the Jews, this is a set up. And yes, I understand that Israel is no good, but saying things like kill the Jews only makes them look better. Those fake accounts that come out and talk about them in exaggerated ways make them look better. And these fake accounts know that, and they hope you catch on to the herd mentality. See, they're not going to get called out, but you are going to get called out. Why? Because the fake accounts have nothing to lose, and they get rewarded when you pick up on the stuff that they're putting out for you. What do we get with this 4chan stuff? They say it was an anonymous person posting this right here. Some of you guys are right. Don't go to school tomorrow if you are in the Northwest. Happening thread will be posted tomorrow morning. And it's pretty much this anonymous guy hinting that there's going to be some type of shooting going on the next day. And then you get people even giving him tips. And then look, we even get a fake Elliot Rodger. This is only used right here to demonize the internet and say, hey, we shouldn't have these anonymous websites. We should be able to censor this. You know how long they've been trying to do this right here. And of course, we get Obama. Our thoughts and prayers are not enough. Obama calls for tougher gun laws in his 15th speech as a president mourning a mass shooting. They should have said a mass fake shooting. This is always the agenda, to come after the guns. Armed with an assault rifle and 3 pistols. You're supposed to say, how does somebody like this with this mental illness get all of these firearms? So here we have just another fake shooting. Chris Harper Mercer praises Vester Lee Flanagan, another guy who was in a fake shooting. What did Vester Lee Flanagan do? He praised another person who was in a fake shooting, Dylan Storm Roof. It's the same old song and dance. Red Silver J, all I gotta say.